Hey guys, I'm going to be answering a few questions on this probability problem that we have here. I'm going to open up the screen and let's get started. So the question says, the letters Mississippi that are in the word Mississippi River are written on cards and placed face down. What is the probability that a random selection of one card will be in S? So the first thing you need to do in order to answer any of the following questions that we're going to be going over is we're going to count the letters. And by counting the letters, we find out that there are 16 letters in the words Mississippi River. And we're going to write out how many of each there are. So let's start with M. So first we have 16 letters total. Okay, total. Now we're going to see how many M's there are. There is one M. Excuse me. Now we're going to go to the letter I. There are 5 I's. Then we're going to go to the letter S. There are 4 S's. We're going to go to the letter P. There are 2 P's. Going to the letter R. There are 2 R's. The letter V. There is 1 V. And finally the letter E. There is 1 E. So let's answer the question. It says, what is the probability that a random selection of a card will be in S? So we look over at our S and we see that there are 4 S's. So question number 1, there are 4 out of 16 chances of getting an S. So we're going to reduce that, and we find out that 4 goes into 4 is 1, and 4 goes into 16 4 times. So now we have 1 out of 4 in lowest terms. Now they're asking us to convert it to a decimal. So in order to get a decimal, we have to go to the calculator or do it in your head on paper. 1 divided by 4 is going to enter. So the top number divided by the bottom number, that gives us 0.25. And since it is 0.25, it's the 100th spot, we are going to leave it like that. Now next step they want us to do is convert this to a percent. So there's 2 ways to get to the percent. You can move the decimal over 2 times to the right, and that will give you the number 25, and then that gives us 25%. Or you can get 0.25 and times that by 100, and that also gives you 25%. So question number 2, find the P of I. Find the probability of getting an I. So we look at the I and we see that there are 5 I's. So we have a 5 out of 16 chance of getting an I. And now, since we can't reduce that, we're going to convert that to any further. We're going to convert that to a decimal by dividing on the calculator 5 divided by 6. So that gives us our decimal. So the answer is that we get is 0.3125. So the book is asking us to round it off to the 100th spot. Because the 2 is to the right of 1, we're going to leave that as 1, and our answer is going to be 31. And in order to get our percent, we're going to either times 0.31 times 100, or we're going to move the decimal over to the right twice, which gives us the number 31, and that is our percent. Question number 3, what is the P consonant? So what is the probability of getting a consonant? So that means getting all of the consonants, which is the M, and the S and the P and the R and the V, and adding those numbers up. So we have 10 consonants and we have 6 vowels. So we get that next, and we have 10 out of 16 chances of getting a consonant. So we're going to go ahead and reduce this by 2. 2 goes into 10 5 times, and 2 goes into 16 8 times. Now we're going to get the decimal by dividing on the calculator. 5 divided by 8. That gives us 0.625. So we need to round off to the hundredth spot, and because there's a 5 to the right of 2, 2 is going to change to a 3, and we have 63.63. Now we want to get our percent. We can get our percent by moving the decimal over twice, or timesing that by 100. 0.63 by 100, which gives us the number 63, and that is 63%. So our final answer is, what is the P not P? What is the probability of not getting P? So P is 2. We have 16 letters. We're just going to get 16 minus 2. We have 14. So we have 14 out of 16 chances of not getting a P. We're going to go ahead and reduce that by 2. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 2 goes into 16 8 times. Now we're going to get our decimal by dividing 7 by 8. So 7 divided by 8 on your calculator gives you 875. The book wants us to round to the hundredth spot. So because there is a 5 next to the 7, we get 7 turns to an 8, and we have 0.88. Now we're going to go to the percent and either times 0.88 by 100, or move the decimal over twice to the right, and we get the number 88, and that is our percent. All right, so that is it, and hopefully this helped you.